If a flap is tight, one of two things will happen. Either the tissue slowly becomes ischemic or the wound opens. There is no third outcome. Tension sets off a chain reaction: ischemia, inflammation, membrane exposure if used, infection, graft failure if used. This isn't bad luck. It's not the graft, it's not the membrane, it's mechanics interfering with biology. And it happens far more often than most surgeons realize. After 30 years in surgery, I've learned that biology drives success. This channel explores implant and oral surgery, how the body responds, how we can improve healing, what the science shows, and how disciplined surgical execution turns evidence into results. Today, we're talking about flap passivity and why misunderstanding it quietly destroys your implants and grafts. Most grafts don't fail dramatically. They don't present with acute infection. They don't collapse overnight. Instead, they fade. Healing feels slow. Tissue looks inflamed. Volume isn't what you expected. And the explanation usually sounds familiar. The graft didn't integrate. The membrane was exposed. The patient healed poorly. But these are late observations. The real failure happened much earlier, at the moment of closure. Flap passivity does not mean that the wound comes together. It means that once the flap is in position, it is completely relaxed. No pull, no recoil, no compression. Because when a flap is under tension, two things start to happen, quietly and predictably. Tension compresses the microcirculation, capillaries narrow, perfusion drops, oxygen delivery is reduced, and bone regeneration is entirely dependent on blood. No blood supply means delayed angiogenesis, poor inosculation, weak early integration. At this stage, nothing looks infected, but biology is already compromised. At the same time, tension destabilizes the wound. The incision line is under constant traction. Soft tissue is being pulled back towards its original position. Eventually, margins separate, dehiscence occurs, and membranes become exposed. Once exposure happens, inflammation follows. And from that point on, infection is no longer a risk, it's a very probable expectation. Now here is where many clinicians try to fix the problem and create a new one. They eliminate tension, but they allow too much mobility, and this is a critical distinction. Passivity means no tension. Mobility means movement, and they're not the same. A flap can be completely tension-free and it still moves successively, and that movement matters. The first blood vessels that form inside a graft are thin, immature, and fragile, and they do not tolerate movement. If the flap is too mobile, functional forces are transmitted to the wound. Micromotion disrupts early vessels. Inflammation increases, and healing is delayed or reversed. A loose flap may look safe. Biologically, it can be destructive. A tight flap starves the graft. A mobile flap destabilizes the graft. Passivity protects blood flow. Stability protects new vessels. You need both. Most failures happen because of small technical decisions. Incomplete periosteal release, release in only one plane, over-release without stabilization, testing closure by pulling, not observing, sutures creating tension instead of control. If the flap springs back when you let go, it isn't passive. If it shifts excessively after closure, it isn't stable. correctly managed flap rests over the graft without resistance, shows no blanching, does not recoil, and remains stable during early function. Sutures don't pull tissue together, they hold it where it already wants to be. Before you tie your knots, ask, does the flap rest naturally? Is the blood supply preserved? Is movement controlled? If the answer is no, change the plan. Most graft failures are blamed on materials. Many are actually caused by poor control of flap mechanics. Predictable grafting requires true flap passivity, controls of tissue stability, respect for early angiogenesis. If you're an implant dentist who wants biology-driven, complication-proof surgery, please subscribe. Every week, we break down one clinical problem you've already seen in your practice. When a flap feels tight, do you release more, reduce graft volume, or stage the case? Please answer below. Thank you.